Welcome to the Purpose, Vision, and Goals lesson, the next step in empowering you, the first series of lessons just for you. If you haven't already viewed and worked through the lesson on understanding the comfort zone, what it is and what's behind it and how you can bust out of it, I highly encourage you to go back and take time to move through that lesson, because there's so much packed into it, and that feeds into this lesson very well. But if you have worked through it, we need to keep it fresh, right? Keep it fresh in your minds, because we don't want to forget all that we've discovered about ourselves in that lesson, right? I mean, I know that you discovered things, so, and we want to keep it fresh because our habits and beliefs, like you learned, they're so devious, right? And they're going to keep working together to keep you, right? Keep us right where we're at in our comfort zone. And persistence is the key. We need persistence to bust out and keep working towards realizing our infinite potential, right? You hear me? Yeah, okay, good. I'm Randy Wilson. I'm your friend, and I'm your empowerment journey companion. And like all other lessons that I teach you, this is really about you. It's about you taking what I share and doing something with it, taking the workbook I provide and working through the reflection questions and steps at the end of the book. And I encourage you to do that and just continue to do that. Because when you do that, you'll be so much better, okay? So please do that. So thank you for joining in this lesson, either virtually or live. Welcome. I appreciate you being here. Let's get going. All right, so this set of lessons is about purpose, vision, and goals. And again, it's a great follow-on to the comfort zone. Why is that? Well, because to really get where we want, we need to have a vision, right? We have to know where we want to go. Yeah, I mean, otherwise, how will we know if we're heading in the right direction or the wrong direction, for that matter? And well, luck might work a few times, but it's not going to work for the long term. It's not going to work consistently for you over the long term, and we need to look at the long term to get where we want to go. And when we do that, John Maxwell, he reminds us that don't ask how long it's going to take. Instead, ask how far can I go? So that's the essence of a vision, to take you far, take you farther than perhaps you've ever imagined before, to a place that's not bound by time. It's not bound by a month, a year, 5 years, or more. The vision, where you want to be. Don't put a time frame on it, okay? In addition to the vision and knowing where we want to go, we also need a purpose. That the purpose is our why. And we have to have a purpose that's strong enough that when we have things that pop in our way that try to kind of derail us and get us off track, that purpose is going to keep driving and pushing us to continue on toward our vision. You know, it makes me think of something my dad told me one time when I was about 16 years old. My dad used to cut firewood for extra money, and I started to drive the skidder. You know, the skidder, if you don't know, that's the vehicle that we use to pull trees. We cut trees in this woods, and we would use it to pull trees to a central area so we could cut the firewood or cut the logs up into fireplace length pieces. And the skidder was an old Jeep. I mean, my dad modified it, and it was strong. And when I first started driving, oh, by the way, what a great place to learn how to drive, right? In the woods. I could bump into stuff and it didn't matter, right? But it was strong. And when I first started driving it, I was kind of tentative with it. And I would end up getting bogged down. I'd start pulling this big tree and I would get going, but then I'd let up on the gas and I'd get stuck. And after a few times, my dad said, I'll never forget this. He's kind of yelled a little bit. He said, "Are you going to drive that thing or what? When you get going, just drive it." Now, you can probably imagine there's some extra words in there, and there were. But here's the key. I never got stuck again after he said that because I understood what I had to do. I understood what I had to do. I had a purpose. So from me to you, that purpose, your purpose, it's like my dad telling you, are you going to drive your life or what? Are you going to drive your life or what? Are you going to get bogged down and get stuck? Or are you going to keep moving? That purpose, your why, it has to be strong. It has to give you the passion and the energy to drive your life and to keep on driving. Okay? And the goals, the third piece of this lesson, these are the steps we accomplish to move towards our vision and satisfy our why. But here's the thing with the goals. A lot of people think they're good at setting goals and they're horrible at reaching them. But truly, it isn't about setting the goals that matters, because we all set goals. Okay? I've read about New Year's resolutions that 87% of people make goals. 25% of people still have them in February, just a month later, but then only 8% are successful with them. Wow. See, the truth is, the goals are set up for failure at the very beginning. We have to set goals in a way that allow us to satisfy them. We've got to be able to satisfy them while continuing to move forward. Okay? And that's why I just love this lesson, because just bathing in the thought of how we create what we want in our lives, creating what you want in your life, has to be the very first understanding for goal setting. It has to be the first understanding. And my aim is to improve your understanding so you can stick with the goals, so you can be like the 8% of the people who create New Year resolutions and you stick with them. Okay? That's what I want for you. I want you to be in that 8%. Are you with me? Okay. So here's a reflection question for you. How successful have you been with 1, setting goals, and 2, with achieving them? In other words, how many of the goals that you set are actually achieved? And if there's a difference between the two, why do you think that is? This is about awareness. This is about awareness or recognition. Figuring out or starting to identify, starting to be aware of what keeps you from achieving goals that you set. Okay, that's what that question's all about. Take time and answer it. And when you're ready, come on back and we'll continue moving on.